following on from my Lone Star EL60, I used a donor machine which is called EL61, a baby Deltic or class 23, and I thought it would be a good idea to try and get that to work, but I needed a motor. Well, on eBay I came across this, so I bought it. And if I look at it, a couple of things strike me. One is that the wires from the pickups are normally soldered to each wire of this suppressor capacitor, but there is no indication of soldering taking place there. If you examine the shafts, because the belts are looped around the shaft, I would have expected to see some kind of indication of friction here. And also the shaft is supported by a pillar at each end, and there is no indication whatsoever of any of that happening. I'm suspecting, I might be wrong, but this is straight out of stock. Considering these were made almost 50 years ago, someone has had the good fortune to purchase some of these spares. I'm hoping that's the case and that this is virtually brand new. So I just applied a little bit of lubrication to the bearing at this end and at this end. Just let it run in a little bit, and what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to apply some power to the terminals of the motor and see if there is any life in it. I'm going to hook the wires onto the suppressor capacitor, and I'm just going to turn up the voltage. And would you look at that? Just let it run for a few seconds in one direction, and now in the other direction. Look at that. I'm convinced that that motor has never been run in anger in its life, because there is nothing to indicate that this has been fitted into the locomotive. So this gives me big hopes for getting my baby Deltic up and running quite soon. This is my donor machine. This is a motor I just showed you, and this is the motor which was in it. And if you look closely this side, you'll see in fact that there should be two copper contact plates like so, and those are for the brushes, which are in here. I found a supplier who's promised to send me some brushes, which I should receive within the next day or two, which means I might even get this motor, this motor up and running as well. So things aren't looking too bad for my rapidly growing Lone Star collection. From absolutely nothing, I now have the potential for 3 locomotives. In reality it's probably nearer 5, but more about that later on. So I'm going to take the donor motor aside and fit this replacement motor. It fits in the cradle. Drive belts are literally hung on the spindle, fed through to the wheels, which are held into the bogies. Now the bogies have screw contacts for the wire that feeds from the pickups to the motor. Now I did have a set of wires, but somehow or other they've got mislaid. So I'm just going to find replacement wires and do a little hookup. My baby Deltic chassis is now looking like this. I have rewired the pickups from each bogie right through here. This is my replacement motor, which will fit in, I think, in this orientation. Like so, it does. So my next task will be to fit the wires onto the suppressor capacitor. You may notice at the moment, although I've got the hook loop, I don't have the hook and the tension lock. These I'm trying to source, and hopefully I can find some quite soon. So I'll get back to you when I've connected the capacitor up to these wires. I've now reached the next stage, and that is I run wires from the bogies to the motor, and using my little closed peg tester I should be able to get my motor to run by applying to the bogies. And it might be easier if I perhaps showed you this way. It did work. Come in like so. There we go. Because the pickups on these EL61s are actually the sides of the bogie frame, because they're die cast. Whoops. And so the axles actually recess into those little grooves. So by applying power to each of the bogies, that in turn feeds the motor. And there we go in one direction, and reversing it into the other direction. I have carefully cut 2 bands from that sleeve. They're approximately 1 millimeter in depth. They're not the most even, because it's quite difficult to cut, because it tends to kind of move from side to side, but at least these allow me to test my motor. So, taking one of the new bands, sliding over the end of the spindle and dropping in to the well. Second band on the other side and dropping to the well. Right, now comes the tricky bit. I take the hook and maneuver it, maneuver it over the wheel rim. Okay, and it's not the easiest thing for me to do for some reason or other. Right, let me try again. I've cut the belt on my hook. I'm going to slide the belt over the rim, grab the wheel and a slight twist to the left. The other belt has slipped off, so I can just slide it back on again. reach into the well, and here we go. Oops, and there's the belt. Take the axle and then slide the belt over the wheel. That's good. And then the twist to the left. By being consistent in the twisting, you know the belt's going to run the same way on both sides of the motor. Make sure that these wires are not being caught up, and that looks good. And I can now apply power to the bogies. And there's the wheels running, front and back. Can you see that? There we go. There's the wheels running front and back. Excellent. So I'm going to cut myself another 2 belts and fit the front wheels. So I'm ready to fit the other wheels with 2 fresh bands. So again, using my servicing cradle, I'll just put everything up here. This time I'm going to fit the band round the axle, drop it into the axle sockets, and then I can now draw the belt through the well, twist to the left and over the end of the spindle. Similarly with the other side, the belt over the axle, into the axle sockets, and then being careful to hold the axle because otherwise it drops out. Hook the belt and over the end of the spindle with a turn to the left. So this should now give me a working locomotive. I'm going to apply the power across there. It helps if I turn that up on the power supply. And trying to get good contact, maybe just a little bit more, because there's a lot of torque to overcome. So come on, in you come. Yep, there we go, it's starting. Now, as I said to you earlier on, this motor has shown absolutely no sign of being used whatsoever. So this is the first time that it's probably being used in anger. And if you look at the wheels, you'll see that all 4 axles are turning. And this is utterly amazing. I'm really excited about this because this baby Deltic was a donor machine. I bought it with a poor motor. Just going to take this out of the box again. The motor, which was this one here, as you can see, has no brushes and no brush springs. Came like this. I used this to give me some parts for my class 24 saucer, which of course you saw running earlier on in another video, hopefully. And then, by a fortuitous acquisition of this motor shortly afterwards, and finding the belts, I think I've now got this one running. All I need to do now is find some coupling hoops, and I can fit them on. It won't be easy because of the way that they're designed, but I'll get them done. So let's bring in the rolling road, and let's see if we can get her running. I am excited about this. It'll zoom out. Again, I wonder how long this has been inactive, inoperative. So, will we have a moment of truth? So let's just come in a little bit. And apply, apply some power. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, come on, come on, come on, isn't that something else, folks? Isn't that something? It's an EL61, dear knows how long it's been lying somewhere. Certainly wasn't last week, that's for sure. Look at that. I'm going to take the power down again and reverse it. And look at that. Well, come on, baby. Come on. Come on. Whoops. There we are. Remembering this motor came in pristine condition, not shiny new, but never been used. No wear marks here or on the belts. No solder marks on the capacitor. This actually came in its original brown paper wrapping. Like 60 years old. I'm really impressed. Really impressed. Oh, I love it, I love it, I love it. Right, you know what's happening next? Get on to the track. So, are we ready to see how the Class 23, the EL61 behaves on track? I'm going to apply some power, and whoa, away she shoots. Try and pick it up again. There it is there. And the back of my little test layout. Oh, I just can't believe sometimes these machines just need a wee bit of care. That's it there. Because of the side tension and the axles, they don't like going over points very much, so it will stutter and stop in some time. So I'm more than happy with that. So I'm going to put the case on and see what it looks like in its full glory. Before I do that, I think I really need to put it into reverse. Make sure it comes back again. Here we go. All the way around. Seems to be a lot quiet in that direction. Oh yeah, not much wrong with that, is there? Oh, I'm really pleased with that one. Right, next time round, we'll have it stopped and we'll get the body on. I'm going to reverse baby Deltic and see if we can hook up to a couple of bits of freight. There's the oil tanker and the Kansas City caboose. And away we go. doing what it's supposed to do, hauling a train. I really enjoyed that. I like the satisfaction of taking what was originally a donor machine and therefore bound for scrap or just for using for parts, and then by fortunately finding a suitable motor, drive belts, getting it all sorted, fitted out. And I need to let that run for about an hour because it probably, the motor anyway, will not be run for a long time. And I can't see much wrong with that. That is just wonderful. So I've now got 2 Lone Star locomotives. I would run them both on the one track, and I tried to, but unfortunately down at the back I have a diamond crossing, and because of the side tension on the axles, these locomotives don't like my diamond crossing. So I would love to have shown them both running together, but it's not as easy as it sounds. So you'll just have to wait maybe another video, try and get them running, better layout, something like that. It'd be nice to see both of them running together. Well folks, that's the repair up and running. This can now be settled. Again, I think my Lone Star Locos probably would be better off with a Lone Star collection. I might even start a Lone Star collection of my own. Just had that wee thought there. So if you like that, and you're into N-Gauge, or even into model railway servicing, then subscribe if you haven't already done so. If you like what I've done, give me a favourable comment, clicking the thumbs up, let me know what you feel. And most important of all, keep watching YouTube. Thanks for watching folks. See you later. Bye for now. As a bit of an afterthought, I thought, why don't I try and run both locos on the same track? So this is my little baby Deltic, and if we look round about here, there's the Salzer Class 24. And I've got them running round the same track together. Isn't that nice? Because it's a plain pig, yeah? Come and catch me, one says. There's the other one. And they're both running lovely and sweetly. So I just thought I'd leave you with that. Take care now. See you later.